Oh, wait, we're on.
Hi everyone, my name is Virginia Dwan, also known as Mandarin Mama. I host a podcast called the Noona Army Podcast where I discuss the particular aspects and challenges of being a middle-aged BTS fan. I also am the founder of Brazen Asian, which is a retreat for Asian, Pacific Islander, and Desi American creatives and influencers. So that's going to be in the Bay Area. Check the description for links. And this is my friend Dave. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, I'm David Sandler. I'm a humanitarian aid worker, former rocket scientist, and a poet. I am excited to watch a couple more BTS videos and just process through some of them and let you see how I'm responding for the first time of ever watching them.
All right, you're going to hear noise in the background because that's my life. So now we're going to react to BTS's Baepsae, the dance practice, so he can kind of watch it and then we'll watch the explainer video. So that
and then I have to do the dance.
Yes.
No?
No. So even though we're watching the dance practice and you don't actually know what they're saying, that's okay. And then we'll watch the explanation video.
Okay.
So that you can actually get a feel of their personalities also from this dance practice. You can see them actually dancing. And then you can also see the social commentary of it. Here we go.
Mommy.
So there's no subs, but you can figure it out.
Mommy, where do I go?
Here it goes.
Mommy, these pots. Where's my pots?
My pause.
Where's my pots? Mommy, where's my pots?
So it's not rock, paper, scissors. What were they doing?
It is rock, paper, scissors.
My pots.
You want to pause?
My pots.
So the loser does what?
We don't know. You have to find out.
All right.
Baepsae is a crotchet. It's a type of bird. You're just gonna moan like that? Flushing the toilet? My kid's flushing the toilet. That's great.
That's what he lost.
Yes.
Oh well. Haku.
Hafu. All right. And so now we can
It's
watch.
over.
I know it's over. Now we're gonna watch the explainer video. So you kind of get to see their personalities a little bit in that one, and then obviously they're good dancers. And then, but this will explain the lyrics because even if you read the lyrics, you wouldn't really know what it meant because it's very specifically Korean.
In light of BTS's new comeback, we are taking a look at the lyricist and
not
most political song, Baepsae.
Oh, it's political.
I want to pass I want to.
First of all, you need to know this Korean idiom. 뱁새가 황새를 따라가면 다리가 찢어진다.
She
It
passed.
means when you try to do something that's out of your reach, out of your capabilities, then
She
you
passed.
will likely fail. Crow tits or Baepsae have short legs, but storks have very long legs. So obviously a crow tit trying to catch up to a stork will likely fail. Here the storks are referring to people in power, the big companies, conglomerates, and older generations. And in this video, I will focus on the last meaning of older generations because the previous two meanings have been covered a lot by other explanations. Here, BTS is using crow tits as a metaphor for the younger generation, or the millennials of South Korea. They are trying very, very hard to catch up with their parents' generation, the baby boomers, or the storks. They also use another metaphor of teacher to refer to the older generation who are born with a golden spoon. They say this because during the ages of the baby boomers in South Korea, they were experiencing huge economic growth and it was extremely easy to get jobs, get housing, and stuff like that. But the economy in South Korea is now at its maturing stages, and the side effects of ultra-fast economic growth have boomeranged to haunt the current generation. Currently, the millennials are facing extremely high pricing of houses, as well as high disparity between the rich and the poor, and also extreme all-time high youth unemployment. In this verse, BTS addresses the social injustices that millennials commonly face in Korean society. For example, passion pay. This is a very common practice in Korean society where companies basically pay young workers below minimum wage or nothing at all in return for experience. The company's logic is because they are offering a job and an experience that many young people have passion for, they are the ones that are actually doing the service for the young people. Enposede is another newly made word that is used to describe the millennials of this decade. They are a generation that have basically given up what many consider to be basic human rights and wants because of extremely high youth unemployment rates and also very low wages compared to living class. We have many different variations of Enposede to describe the millennials of South Korea. It originally started from Samposede, which is used to describe the millennials that have given up dating, marrying, and giving birth due to economic instability.
So sad.
Then it evolved to
Because they can't afford it.
which
Right.
added giving up employment and buying your own house. And then it evolved into 칠포세대, which added human relationships.
Oh no!
Now the word Enposede is most commonly used because
That's a lot sad at that point. If
Yeah.
You're giving up hope
I
and
mean,
human relationships.
human relationships.
But that doesn't even make sense because, okay, sorry, it does not make sense. Like, I get it, but it's like, even in that, to not have friends going through the same thing at the same time, it's like
But
they're
it
not
ca-
even doing that with other people anymore. They're
I guess
that
it costs money to go
lost.
out with people or like
But even to
dating.
hang out their house, it's like
Mhm.
it's or
you
their
want to hang out with your
house.
parents, right?
I mean, I get it, but it's like
But it's
I'd
like,
rather not hang out with my parents if I could hang out with my parents with my friends.
but I mean,
to some
if you're
degree.
at some type of like, if you're in that much of like a depression or like
Yeah.
you don't want to hang out with people when you're
Yeah.
depressed.
they have basically given up all their dreams and hope.
So sad.
talks about their want to change the system. The word 정상 in the last lines has a double meaning. First, it means normal, and second, it means top. So basically, not only is BTS talking about how this is not a normal situation, society is sick, but also they are saying we are not at the top yet and we have to push further. Here BTS addresses how the older generation blames the millennials for their struggles, saying that it is due to a lack of effort. The word 노력 is pronounced 노력 by BTS, and this is a very commonly used internet slang among millennials to sarcastically describe how the older generation blames them for the lack of effort. Baby boomers often neglect the fact how society is completely different now compared to when they were growing up, and also the economic situation is completely different. They also neglect the fact that a lot of the economic problems that these millennials face today were in fact caused by baby boomers. For example, housing prices that are extremely high so that millennials have basically given up buying their houses. These were driven up by baby boomers buying multiple houses in speculation and for investment purposes. Yet many baby boomers simply neglect the fact and tell the millennials that they should try harder, work harder, so that you can perhaps buy a house 20 years later. On the surface level, these lines just simply seem like a cry for help, a call for a helping hand. However, the word Baepsae in the very last line is a very clever play on words. Basically, this word would sound like a curse word to the Korean ear. It sounds very, very similar to shipseya or beseya, which are both very serious curse words in South Korea. So not only are they crying for help, and not only are they asking the protests to unite, but they are also calling the older generations.
That is so kind of you.
Yeah, right. All right. It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have several songs like commenting on things like that.
Yeah.
Like they have a song called Spinebreaker, where they're basically spinebreakers are kids who want like the highest fashion, like the most expensive things.
Sure.
And then they don't care if it breaks their parents' spines to get the things that they want. And so they talk about that too. And it's,
Not being responsible or not caring about others
right.
people responsible. Yeah.
Yeah. So or just being so materialistic,
Yeah.
and then so it's a
Common problem today, but yeah.
well. I mean, I don't even think it's just young people. It's people
No,
in
no, absolutely
entitlement
not.
in
Lots of
general,
people
right?
expect
Like
things, yeah.
yeah. So it's a big reason also why I like BTS, because they talk about societal things and they're very vocal.
Yeah.
I mean, even in America, it's very rare for songs to be political.
It's true.
I mean, there are some, but the fact that I can probably name 5 means that.
Yeah, there's a lot less bands that are willing to do it versus playing pop music to get them over the top and make some money. So,
Right.
yeah.
So.
I mean, they talk about some stuff, but it's not as direct. It's more indirect.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
What did you think? Did you like the song? Do you like the sound? Did you like the lyrics? Did you like the dancing?
Yeah, I mean, they're good dancing and they're having fun. And but I mean, even the song and the lyrics, yeah. I mean, it's good to. I like how they're putting something catchy in with a little bit of not microaggression, but in the sense like frustration, definitely frustration to be able to put it out there and make it almost like an anthem in that sense. Like you're trying to create an anthem and lift people up and get people to also respond and hopefully create a positive response, not just a negative reaction, even from the older generation, the baby boomers. Like maybe they can actually see it and hear it, whether or not they listen to it or not, but at least maybe even create a little bit of an ability. And some of that's the communication, like for the younger generation to be able to communicate to the older generation in a healthy way instead of just frustration all the time, but for the older generation at some point to then recognize their own errors
Yeah.
in that, and at least own up to it. Not that they can necessarily fix it right away,
Yeah.
but I don't know if also in there was something about the laws changed. Like sometimes people don't realize, and in certain generations, and in the States also right now, like a lot of laws are designed in such a fashion that make it even harder for people to break through.
Yeah.
When you look at it financially, education-wise, medical care, different things where the laws could help, and some people would call them socialism or other things,
yeah.
but in fact it's just shared cost for an overall society to survive. Because if you're looking at it in just one perspective, sure, if you keep going down that road, okay, yeah, there's people who can't afford it, that's could be perceived as their fault or their whatever. But in reality, what happens in 20 years when an entire generation or 3 haven't been able to survive, and the older generation is then more gone, what's left? You're left with more disparity and less ability to be united as a nation, to be united, to continue to grow. And you've also then damaged your education and your ability to have workers who can do those things.
Yeah.
So, and I say that even from just being in these other places for humanitarian, between Iraq and Haiti and different stuff, like if you don't have an ability and an opportunity to have a chance at life, it damages everything. Like everybody, if you don't have hope, like that line on its own, like being hopeless is trauma all the time. It's not like you've been wounded and you can go to the hospital and fix it. It's constant trauma that you can't necessarily just get out of. And we're talking about a trauma that could last for generations.
Yeah. And they say trauma affects your epigenetics. It changes your DNA.
Yeah.
Well,
Watch your feet go.
okay, hold on. Shh. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I know our reactions are tending to be much more philosophical this round. But
also enjoyable of the dance and music. So.
All right.
But it's making me think. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. So again, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. There might be more cameos. And I'll see you next time. Bye.